Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shade walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section. She call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Look on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let gang, and back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Look on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right here, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to Shades 2 Late Night Owls Talk Time. And it is Friday, so happy blessed Friday, you guys. Welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay. Up here in the chat, we got Jermaine in the place to be. Welcome, Jermaine, and thank you for being here tonight. We're not going to be on here long tonight, you guys, okay? So let me go ahead and do this copyright disclaimer real quick. Let's see. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area and part of it scrolling across that screen. Guys, if you enjoyed this content tonight, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications, share, and leave a comment. And if you want to show additional support for the channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, cash app donation at $Shades2, or copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. All righty. So tonight, you guys, let me put this banner up. I forgot to do it. We are going to revisit Karmelo Anthony's case, okay? And I know y'all remember him. His trial is coming up, I think, on June the 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to revisit that case, you know, everything that happened. Just talk about it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And talk about the upcoming trial that's coming up, okay? Let me just write this up here real quick. And let's put this up here. Okay, let's add that banner. Now, and let me put some music on in the background because we do not want to be falling asleep up here. Let's get some music on, y'all. Put it on this. Okay. Let me do this real quick, y'all. Hold on for 1 second. Okay. So, like I just said, we are going to be revisiting the Karmelo Anthony's case. I just spelled his name. It's a typo right there. Let me switch this real quick, y'all. Damn. What did I do with the daggone banner? Let's hide that real quick. Hold on. Let me change this because I made a mistake. It spelled his name. Just a typo, really. Not spelling, just a typo. Now let's put that back up there. That's what happens when you be typing real fast. This damn screen, y'all, it's a hot mess. Okay, now let's put it up there now. Okay, there you go. So anyway, I know y'all remember about the Karmelo Anthony's case. What happened with Austin Metcalf? I think that was like last summer, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to recap that real quick, and then we're just going to talk about it tonight, okay? Because like I just said, his trial is coming up on the 1st of June. Hold on. Okay. So hold on, let me see here. So as we already know, Karmelo Anthony, at the time he was 17, he should be 18 now. A Frisco Centennial High School student faces a murder charge in the stabbing unaliving of Austin Metcalf. Okay, so now I know y'all definitely remember this. Let's see here. So let's see. Now y'all know he's out on bail right now, okay? Let me get the timeline and everything real quick because I don't know what is this mess right here. Hold on for 1 second, y'all. Okay, so let's look at this real quick. So as we already know, Anthony and Metcalf, they were track athletes from different schools, okay? Now, it is reported that the two got into an argument during a track meet at Kaya Kendall Stadium on April the 2nd, which ended in Metcalf's unaliving after Anthony allegedly stabbed him in the chest, okay? Now, Karmelo pleaded self-defense, okay, claiming that Austin put his hands on him during the dispute. So let's go ahead and look at it. So let's see what happened at the track meet. So Anthony, a former student at Centennial High School, and Metcalf, who attended Memorial High School, reportedly did not know each other. The two exchanged words before Anthony allegedly stabbed Metcalf in the chest. And that's according to court documents obtained by Fox 4 KDFW. Witnesses identified Anthony as the suspect to a school resource officer who was the first to arrive at the scene moments after the incident. At the time, Anthony told the officer that he was protecting himself after Metcalf had allegedly put his hands on him, even though Anthony said he warned the 17-year-old not to touch him. Police later labeled Anthony as the alleged suspect, but Anthony admitted to the stabbing and said, "I'm not alleged, I did it," according to Fox 4 and another source. Now, police told Anthony's defense that they had interviewed more than 75 people who allegedly witnessed the stabbing. Two witnesses from Memorial High School stated that Anthony walked over and sat down under the school's pop-up tent. They both stated in their testimonies that both Anthony and Metcalf had a back and forth after Metcalf told him that he had to leave and that the tent only belonged to Memorial High School students. Metcalf allegedly touched and shoved Anthony, and Anthony allegedly reached inside of his bag, pulled out a you-know-what, and stabbed Metcalf before walking away, according to statements obtained by Fox 4. Anyway, as we already know, Karmelo Anthony is charged with first-degree murder. He was released on a $250,000 bond, initially set at $1 million. Collin County Judge Angela Tucker reduced the bail since Anthony did not have a criminal history prior to the incident and prior to all those fake rumors online. He was required to wear an ankle monitor and check in with the court on a regular basis. Failure to comply with these conditions would result in Anthony being taken back into custody immediately. So far, he is complying with everything. Now, due to the severity of the case, Anthony and his family later relocated to an undisclosed location for his safety because they received, threats. Now, I'll give you a little information about Karmelo Anthony too. Hold on for a second. I have to sneeze. I told you, every time I get on these lives and stuff, this damn cold, man, start doing weird stuff, especially at night. Okay, so Karmelo Anthony, you guys, he was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Him and his family moved to North Texas in 2021. He was a student at Centennial High School with a 3.7 grade point average, and he was the captain of both the football and track teams. Anthony also worked at Foot Locker for 2 years, in addition to his second job at HEB. Anthony earned his high school diploma earlier in May, despite facing backlash from the public and Metcalf's family, which was stupid, because why couldn't he complete his high school diploma? That's stupid. Frisco Independent School District affirmed that he was not allowed to participate in the graduation ceremony, which is understandable. He is the oldest of 4 children. Now, Austin Metcalf was a junior at Memorial High School. His father, Jeff Metcalf, described him as an honor student who was a natural leader and talented athlete. He also has a twin to his brother. What? No, excuse me, I said that wrong. He was also a twin to his brother, Hunter Metcalf. Jeff recalled the last weekend he spent with his sons. All 4 of them went hunting, which was something they enjoyed doing together. He said, "I'm so fortunate to be able to spend that weekend not knowing it was the last weekend I'll ever spend with him. I was able to watch and be blessed so much to have such. Both my sons are amazing. My other son is just crushed. I feel for him now. He won't be the same. None of us will." So let's see. You said Anthony allegedly said, touch me and see what happens. So I wonder if Austin maybe threatened to do something. Honestly, I cannot think of no other reason Carmelo Anthony would have said that unless he was threatened. Okay? Why would you say, touch me and see what happened unless someone threatened to do something to you? And hopefully the video, as I'm pretty sure kids had, their phones out recording, hopefully those videos will show, everything that happened. Now, it's a direct foul law. Let me tell you guys what that is. Anthony's first-degree murder charge is being prosecuted under Texas concurrent jurisdiction laws, often referred to as prosecutor direct foul laws. Now, according to a report from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, statutes in 15 states determine a category of cases in which a prosecutor decides to try a defendant in juvenile or criminal court. Typically, these direct foul provisions give both juvenile and adult criminal courts the power to hear cases involving certain offenses or age offenses categories, leaving it up to the prosecutors to make discretionary decisions about where to file them. And that's according to the report. These laws often give prosecutors the discretion to charge minors as adults, exposing them to the maximum penalties allowed under the law. People of color, especially Black Americans, face disproportionately high rates of arrest, convictions, and sentencing due to systemic bias. They are also more likely to be involved in or fall victim to homicide, according to a 2024 report from the Sentencing Project. In 2024, over 1/3 of all individuals serving life sentences, 68,429 people, were under 25 when they committed their crimes. Black Americans were overrepresented among those serving life sentences. They made up 37% of adults serving life with parole, but 48% of those 48% of those sentenced before age 25 per the Sentencing Project. That's crazy. This is why parents, and I always stress this is why we as Black people definitely have to make sure that we are doing what we need to do as parents with our kids, because the justice system is not fair a lot of times to Black kids. Just like when they gave him that $1 million bond, I guess that's what you call it, a bail or whatever the case is. And the lawyers for him were like, why would he have a $1 million bond when he has never been in trouble? And then you look at other cases that are similar, and these people don't even get a $1 million bond. So that right there was one example of, being, the system, being unfair to Black people, period. That's one example right there. Why was his bond $1 million at first? It sure is. You got that right. And then it was reduced down. They didn't want him to get out of jail. They did not want to give him the opportunity to get out of jail. They wanted him to stay there until the trial. But yet you got people who intentionally unalive people in their bills, bonds, whatever you call it. It was lower than his. And they have done many crimes. So that was not fair at all. That was not fair. So let's see what else we got. So that was just a little background information on everything. And when I covered this case all the times that I did, it used to be a lot of people coming over here tripping out, especially some racist people, and even some people who weren't racist, because a lot of people were like, Carmelo just stabbed him. He should have done it. Why did he have what on him in the first place? And the thing is, this right here, he had it in his bag. Okay, I don't think he went to that track, that park, whatever. I don't think he went there thinking that he would have to use his weapon. All right, a lot of people carry stuff on them. It doesn't mean they are going out thinking they have to use that. Okay, the thing, I'm still saying the same thing that I said months ago, almost a year ago. Why did Austin Metcalf feel like he needed to come over there and approach that dude? Anyway, why? Wouldn't you think that you should go and tell the coach so the coach can come over there and make him move? And only a few people have said the same thing that I'm saying. Why did he feel like he needed to do that? And what exactly happened? Because they never did release any video footage for us to see. And I guess we won't find out until June the 1st. Because I'm wondering if when that boy came over there, his brother was right by him. Did they threaten him and tell him either he can leave or I'm going to put you out here myself, I'm going to drag you out or whatever? And that is the reason why Karmelo said, if you touch me, you're going to see what happens, or whatever he said. I can't remember. Yeah, touch me and see what happens. Is that the reason why he said that? Because again, for the life of me, I can't imagine saying this unless somebody provoked you to say it, by their actions. Because why would you just say it all of a sudden if nobody is making you feel threatened? Like, for example, if Austin came over there and said, yo, dude, you don't go to the school. You can't be underneath this tent. And then Karmelo be like, I'm not moving. Okay. So you'd be like, okay. Then that's when you should be going to get the coach, right? And then bring the coach back and let the coach deal with this kid. You don't take it upon yourself and be like, well, I'm going to make you move. I don't know if he's saying that. I'm just saying. Because I don't know if Karmelo, I don't know how he replied back to them. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know exactly what Austin said or his brother. But I know one thing, something was said that shouldn't have been said, because I don't believe that Karmelo would have said, touch me and see what happens, unless somebody gave him a reason to. Now, if he needed to use that, you know what? I don't know, because I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Right. No, I barely heard anyone say Austin should have went and got the coach. Let's keep it real. He should have went and got the coach. If he went over there to that dude and he was like, yo, you don't belong here. What you doing here? Whatever he said to him. And then say Karmelo came back the same way. Even if Austin was talking nice and Karmelo don't want to be bothered. Or he could have been just talking just casual and said, no, I'm not moving. You don't need to be talking to him anymore. You need to be going right to the coach, to the grown-ups, and let the coach deal with that. Period. Because if he would have did it that way, he would still be alive today. Okay? And this is what these schools do to teach these kids. You don't need to handle stuff yourself like this. If some child, a student, is over here and does not belong here, you need to come to us and let us deal with this. Not you. Because a lot of kids don't really respect other kids' authority, or even when they try to act like they got authority. I don't know why it was a big deal that he was sitting underneath that tent in the first place. Then you heard them say something about their bags was there and they thought, maybe he was steal. Why? Because he's black? Why would this kid be stealing when his dad has a good career? And he had 2 jobs. Why would he be stealing? He was working 2 jobs. Plus he's a what? a 3.76 grade point average. That's an A student. He was captain of what? The track in another team, football team. You're not going to get those positions if you are out here stealing and getting in trouble and all this other foolishness that they were putting up on social media. And let me let y'all know a little something. This kid, well, he was a kid at the time, Karmelo Anthony, is not the only young man that ever had a KNIFE in his bag. Okay, y'all act like y'all never heard of that before. Yeah, I'll play that in a second. So I just, just plain weird how people don't look at the entire size of anything. They just go straight into, well, he should have had what at school, on school property, or, why did he have it? He was going there to unalive somebody. Why do you carry a GUN? Are you going to unalive someone? Because you're carrying that? Why do some of you guys carry KNIFE? Y'all going to unalive someone? Maybe he carried that for protection just in case somebody messes with him, or, a lot of stuff is happening out here today with kids. Not necessarily to be in an altercation. I think he was sitting underneath that tent because it was pouring down rainy and he did not want to get wet. Point blank. So let's go ahead and play Hunter's video real quick. Yeah, he's going to go before a jury of his peers, on a charge of murder on June the 1st. Okay, let's look at his brother's interview. Right. You got that right. Yeah. The park that they were at, since they was having a school function, I think that classifies as being on school grounds somewhere, I think. So for the school system, having a KNIFE is against school rules. So I don't know how they look at that area where they were practicing at. So let's go ahead and look at this. Let me mute this real quick, you guys. Hold on. So let's look at Hunter Metcalf's interview. This is first interview right here, okay?
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
Yeah.
just that's just what I saw. And I try to help him, but
Your mom told me that you were there.
no.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was
Okay,
saying,
so we saw that right there. Okay, let me go and look at this next interview. Let's see if we can find them all. So let's listen at this.
He got aggressive. He grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him running down the bleachers, grabbing his chest, just blood rushing out. He said, "Yo, he got stabbed. He got stabbed First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then
Oh, it's about the one
I
with
saw him about to fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see this guy.
Yeah, I understand. Best I can to
But yeah,
understand.
there was. You can see, you can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest, and
Yeah.
y'all can visualize other stuff. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too. I'd like to say is it's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid for what he did to my brother. Because 17 years, my best friend, just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well. I just pray for everybody. Got aggressive. He grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him run down the bleachers, grabbing his chest, just blood rushing out. He said, he got stabbed. He got stabbed. First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then I saw him about to fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see this guy.
Yeah, I understand. Best I can to
But yeah,
understand.
there was. You can see, you can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest, and
Yeah.
y'all can visualize other stuff. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too. I'd like to say is it's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid for what he did to my brother. Because 17 years, my best friend, just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well. I just pray for everybody. Got aggressive. He grabbed the bag.
Is that the right one, Jermaine? You know the title, or you can let me know the title of it. So let's see what she said about this interview. So they telling you where he changed the story at. Let me look at this one first.
And what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack.
All the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. And this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for.
And what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack.
All the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. And this kid
That's a damn
said
shame.
something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. said something just inappropriate and uncalled for.
Okay, let me look at the other one over here. Damn.
So, how did y'all feel about Hunter and his mother's interview today with Fox News? Different videos are searching around. Of course, people are putting their opinion under it. I did see people talk about when a question was asked to them and how Hunter shushed his mom. And some people are saying that he only shushed her because there's certain things that they can and cannot say. I know I've seen people pointing out the mother's body language and how she seems so uncomfortable, but I believe she is seeming that way because she did just lose a child. So they pointing out how her body language and her face expression, and she's just uncomfortable as heck. And they also pointing out Hunter and his body language, his facial expression. Some people are also going to a extent to saying that they feel like, he's not as innocent as he seemed, and how he need to be looked further into as well. Now, it is on Fox News is where they had the interview at, so you guys can search there up here on TikTok, or you can go on Google and search it as well. I just want to know what you guys think about it. I've already seen it, and I see what people are talking about. But like I mentioned with the mother, she did just lose a child, so I could assume that's probably why she has the reaction that she has right now. So, how did y'all feel about Hunter and his mother's interview?
But the thing is, we do understand, that she would be, like she was, okay. But we're more interested in why his story changed, okay. That's what we're more interested in. Let's see what they're saying right here. We can't listen to no music. Let's see. By the way, Austin did not pass away in his brother's arms. That's another ploy to make you feel sorry for him. Hunter Metcalf is not telling the truth. Like I said, when we see that they're going, hopefully they'll show us the video of everything. And so if they do that, even if they don't, but as long as they sit in the courtroom, then we're going to know exactly what happened. Because I personally don't believe that it's as innocent as they are trying to make it look like. I believe something really went down. I don't believe he said, touch me and see what happens just to say it. I mean, I don't know if they hit him to make him say that, or if they just threatened to hit him. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they just threatened to do something to him if he didn't leave. And that's when he said, touch me and see what happens. The reason why I say that, because if they would have already hit him, he wouldn't be saying, touch me, okay, and see what happens. He would have already did whatever. So he was basically warning them, if you touch me, you're going to find out what happens. So that indicates that there was no touch right at that particular moment. It was probably a threat, a verbal threat. And then when he made that threat, maybe that's when the Austin grabbed for the bag or whatever the case is, or grabbed him or whatever the case is. And then Karmelo went inside of his bag and pulled out his weapon and used it. I'm thinking something like that probably happened. It just seems like it happened like that. So let's see. What else we got? Let's see what this guy is talking about right here.
Before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Also grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could.
He grabbed his backpack. Okay. Like I just said, yeah, he grabbed his backpack. When he grabbed his backpack, that's probably when they got into like a little tussle, right? And that's when Karmelo got his backpack back went in his bag and then stabbed. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I believe it's definitely a lot more to this story. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Let's finish watching this.
I didn't see the stab, but then I look at my brother, and then I'm not gonna talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. I tried to help him.
We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. When I turned around and asked him who he was, he started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is with just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity.
So when he say having his back, so it seems like they both were going against Karmelo. Okay, his brother was having his back. And so Karmelo probably thought they were going to jump him if they weren't already proceeding to do that. I don't know. And that's probably why he felt threatened enough to go in his bag and get his weapon. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Like I said, I believe if, I can't share no YouTube videos. Okay. I believe if this would have been handled the correct way, all of this stuff could have been avoided. I still say when these two dudes approached Karmelo, right, and asked him what school he go to, whatever they asked him, okay, if Karmelo was like, no, I'm not going to move, why, or, whatever, that's when those two boys should have went over there to the coach and go get the coach and let the coach deal with that. Why did they feel like they needed to deal with this? And why was it so important to get Karmelo to move away from under that tent, especially when it was pouring down raining? Because again, Karmelo worked 2 jobs. His family, doing pretty good. Just because he's black, it doesn't mean he's going to steal something. Because I think that somebody said that the equipment was there. So that indicates that they was thinking that maybe he may be trying to steal it. And even if they did think that, you still need to go get the coach and let the coach handle that. Because when the coach say move, you don't move, then they can call the police and have the police move you. Why do people always try to handle stuff themselves when they should be getting kids, when they should be getting the proper people to do that? Now let's finish listening to this.
Some aggressive stuff, reckless stuff. Also try to handle the problem.
Hold the fuck up, Hunter. I'm hearing 2 different fucking stories.
Okay.
The first story, you said we asked him to move. Austin grabbed his book bag. You said this shit. The next story, while you posted up with your punk ass mammy, you told the whole world that Karmelo was sitting behind you.
Yeah.
He said something that you deemed inappropriate and then reckless. You had words for him. And then your brother stepped in.
Yeah.
So you and your twin brother tried to punk him up underneath your tent, knowing it was raining like a bitch out there. Then your brother, you said this. You said your brother grabbed his book bag and tried to take it. This before a blade or anything was even mentioned. That's robbery. You and your brother was in the midst of committing a crime. Your brother died because of y'all's crime. You are responsible for your brother's death. I said it. It was your fault.
I won't.
If
now,
anybody's going to jail for murder, is you, twin.
The thing is, I don't know if I can say it was his fault. The thing is this right here. I think that they should have went to the coach, point blank. I think everything could have been. I just think all of this could have been avoided. Okay, point blank. I definitely believe that those 2 boys definitely probably were trying to either insinuate that they both were going to jump on this dude, or they were in the process of doing it. I believe that they made Karmelo fear his life, point blank. I really do believe that. That's why he took out the weapon. 2 people against 1, 2 big boys against 1 dude. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Let me see what's the name just said. When did this come out? This came out last year. Let's see. So they looked at the video footage, okay? So they viewed a critical piece of it. And he didn't lie about what he did. Karmelo didn't. So Anthony said he was acting in self-defense. Let's see. How long is this? They let some people watch that video. And go ahead and tell me what they saw. So no sound on the video, so we won't be able to hear anything. 30 of people around it. It was raining. The incident happened at 9:44 a.m. It was calm at first and chaos started happening. She said you can't make out the people. You can see people wearing colors, but you can't make out their identities. Hold on. She said she didn't see. Wait a minute. Hold up. This thing is going so quick. There's no sound on the video. It's raining. This damn thing coming up. Let's see what it's coming up. It's going by so quick. Hold on. You can't make out people. You can see people, but you can't see who they are. You can see some of their clothing. Let's see. I'm trying to see what she said right here. She said, hold on. How come this don't go back? Okay, let me see if I can get this real quick, y'all. Hold on, y'all. And then chaos assures that you can't really make up anybody. You can't make up individuals. You can see people in colors and what they are wearing, but you can't make out identities. But again, at 9:40 forecast, it says, what I did not see was any obvious physical altercation leading up to the, you know what. Now, I went inside the stadium earlier this morning to try and give our viewers a better vintage viewpoint of what happened. Take a look across the field. You can see where the press box cameras captured everything from the 45-yard line here. This is ultimately happened was a tent right up here causing a sports time. We're being told 9:44. Closed caption sucks. Whatever happened right here. Everybody took what? Let's see what they're saying. So they say he grabbed Anthony. That's what it says there. I wish I could slow this down. They said that they saw, hold on. So they said that boy grabbed Anthony. I wish I could slow this down. Let's see. Trying to push it all the way back. So let's see if I can read that again real quick before it come on. Because I started it back from that point. Let's see if I can pull it up. You know, I may can pull it up on here real quick. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up on TikTok. Let me see. We're at 44. Let me pause this for a minute. News Nation views video footage. Let's see. Let's see if we can do it. If I can pull it up. We're looking at News Nation, so shut up. Okay, let's see. I want to see that footage. Is this it right here? Is this him talking right here? Is that the same one? So let's see.
So I'm here in Frisco, Texas, here in the stadium where the incident happened back.
This is not the actual one that I want to see. Let's see. I want to see the one that I'm watching right now. Let me see what the title is. Footage of, let's see. Oh my God, let's see. Let's type this in here again because it says. Let's see. You know, this right here, delete. Let's see if we can pull that up, y'all. News Nation now. Look for News Nation now. Now let's push that in there, see if we can bring it up. Is this the beginning of it right here? That's the Daily Mail right there. I don't see that same one that I'm just watching. Who is this? Carmelo Anthony's neighbor? Who is this dude right here? Let's see what this dude talking about real quick, y'all.
The neighbors of Karmelo Anthony have spoken out. Now, Karmelo Anthony is the 17-year-old high school student who is charged with the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old track star Austin Metcalf. Now, just this week, Karmelo Anthony was released on bond after his bond was reduced from $1 million to a mere $250,000. And the judge reduced this bond.
I want to see what he said. They said
pay for the legal expenses and private security. Neither father nor mother work.
Well, this is lies right here, so we don't need to see that. Okay, gosh. Let me see. I'm trying to look for the news. I guess this don't look like the same man that I was just watching. Let me go back. I'm looking for this lady right here. Let's see. I can't find that article. Let me go down. I don't see the News Nation one that I'm looking at right now. It's on YouTube, but I can't show it off the YouTube. Oh, let's see. Let's look and see what he's talking about.
So one of Austin Metcalf's friend who was in attendance. I'm
so sick of them playing damn music every time they put videos on. This one right here, that's June. We can see this one. Maybe this.
I'm here in Frisco, Texas, here in the stadium where the incident happened back in April. The camera that recorded it is up there, up in the press box, which had been basically across the field, right at the 45-yard line, the yellow tent across the field. it's raining that day, and there's people milling about. There's people warming up on the field here on the tracks, getting ready, but it's raining, and so people are on their umbrellas. Across the field on the 45-yard line, there's a yellow tent, a sports tent, that you can see a bunch of people huddled underneath, getting out of the rain. On this side, there's some coaches, people warming up, people stretching over here. People are arriving from over there. At one point, around 9:54 a.m., if you're watching the yellow tent, there's people entering. You see someone maybe wearing a yellow poncho, someone wearing a dark suit. And then pandemonium happens, and people scram everywhere. People start running this way, across the field, this way. People on this side of the field still don't know what's going on. It's not until about 9:58 that you see people rushing over there to try and help. By 10 o'clock or shortly after 10 o'clock, you see the first police cars arrive over here. Paramedics come in this way, park up here. They can't get the stretcher up, so they have to go all the way back over here and then double back up
Okay,
the
let's
stairs.
go up a little bit because I thought
Whatever went down happened right here. Everybody kind of took off this way across the field, disappearing in all sorts of directions. But there were still people milling in the kind of the field and across the way. Athletes didn't understand what was going on. By about 10 o'clock, paramedics came up here, wheeled right here. There were still people here, presumably working on Austin Metcalf.
I could not find the video that I was looking for. I don't want to see this, but I was looking for the interview that I was just watching. Not the interview, but they was talking about the video footage because they was able to look at it, and I cannot find that on here. Let's see. Let's see if we can see it again. Let's see what he said. I think
We
it's
know who's in the wrong, you know. Seeing how the victim's family got treated, they have no sympathy with loss of life, for the family attacking the family. Seeing the mother and the dad coming out speaking on the TikTok lives, and like I say, you're a reflection of your parents, and you can see what the dad was saying. You can just tell of who's raising these kids, man. But then again, it's not always on the parents. It is not always on the parents. There are people that are watching today's video that have tried everything they can. They've been amazing parents. They've done everything right. They put it all in, blood, sweat, and tears, tried everything they could. And their child, son, daughter, goes out and goes the opposite direction, the wrong direction, down the wrong path. It happens. It's life, Some people don't know they are raising thugs. Some people do know that they're raising thugs. Some people just don't know that they're raising thugs. Back in our household, my mom said and dad said, we're not. Has been keeping me updated and sending me all kind of amazing things.
After what he did to this young man right here, that school district has made the decision that they will not be releasing the footage from that night, which means that they had camera footage this entire time, but they chose not to release it. Not only did they choose not to release it to the public, but also not to law enforcement.
As y'all know, everything has been fishy with this school district. And y'all know how these school districts are, the school system, the educational system, these college campuses, a complete disgrace. And they're running a whole fraudulent scheme on emails.
Okay, so anyway, I was trying to find what's the name, and I just can't find it on here. And we can't really believe some of these videos either. So I was looking for News Nation Views video footage of the thing, and it was part of it that I saw said that the dude grabbed Karmelo. So thanks, Jermaine, but I can't find it on here to be able to show it. So let's see what else we got here. Can't find it whatsoever. So But like I said, when they have the actual trial, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the 100% truth from those videos or video, how many they have. Because I really believe to believe that basically they asked him politely, maybe a little rough to move, and he just automatically warned them and went in his bag and started stabbing. I don't believe he did that like that. I just really don't. I believe that they said something to him, okay, that made him say, touch me and see what happened. And I believe that one of those boys touched him, okay? And that's clearly evident because they already said that Austin allegedly grabbed Carmelo's backpack. And clearly they got into a scuffle. Then he was probably trying to get his backpack from him. I'm trying to show it. Oh, I just played it. But you cannot still play the audio here, I don't think. Let me see if I can. I don't want to get no copyright, what's the name? Because YouTube is weird. Hold on, let me see if I can let y'all hear this, y'all. Hold on. I'm on the wrong damn phone. Hold on. So I'll let y'all hear it. This is it right here. I still got it for here. Let me. It's only 3 minutes, so let's see. So let's see if y'all can hear it. I'm gonna have to be quiet though.
Texas grand jury indicted 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony just last week for a deadly altercation that happened at a Texas track meet in April. And now News Nation has viewed a critical piece of video evidence. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed. Anthony admits he stabbed Metcalf while both took cover under a team tent during a rain delay. But Anthony says he was acting in self-defense. News Nation's Rich McHugh has been tracking this case. And Rich, you are one of the reporters who got to view this important piece of evidence.
Yeah, Nicole, they allowed me to view this video under strict conditions. I couldn't record anything. I couldn't take pictures. I could take notes, but that's about it. They would play it one time, and they wouldn't even rewind it or play it again, even the moment in question. So what I saw in the video was ultimately it's from the press box across the field on the 45-yard line. You can view a yellow tent across the field. That's where this incident happened. There's no sound on the video. It's raining. You can see about 30 to 40 people around the field. It's a track meet that morning, so they're preparing for this track meet. The incident in question happens at 9:44 a.m. It's really calm up until that point, and then chaos ensues, and you can't really make up anybody. You can't make out individuals. You can see people and colors and what they're wearing, but you can't make out identities. But again, at 9:44, chaos ensues. What I did not see was any obvious physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. Now, I went inside the stadium earlier this morning to try and give our viewers a better vantage point of where this all happened. Think about it. Across the field, you can see where the press box cameras captured everything. We're on the 45-yard line here. This is where it ultimately happened. There's a tent right up here, the kind of the sports tent where everybody was huddled at 9:44. Whatever went down happened right here. Everybody took off. Now, according to police reports, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony were here at this track meet. Austin Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, reached inside, and told Austin, quote, touch me and see what happens. The police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Anthony pulled out a knife, stabbed Metcalf once in the chest and ran. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. And now, as of last week, Karmelo Anthony indicted for first-degree murder.
So, Rich, how might this affect court?
Well, it's a good question. Court date has not yet been set. His first appearance is set, I believe, for July 17th. This video, from what I saw, the question I have is, will they be able to enhance it and to view it, to zoom in? Because what I saw was happen very quickly, and there was no obvious altercation just before. So it could be a case where both sides will see what they want to see. The question is, how much can they kind of alter or zoom in on this video?
All right, Rich McHugh, live for us there as this case continues to unfold. Rich, thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Okay.
Subscribe below and download. Well, it's a good question. Court date has not yet been set. His first appearance is set. Now, according to police reports, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony were here at this track meet. Austin Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, reached inside, and told Austin, quote, "Touch me and see what happens." The police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Anthony pulled out a knife, stabbed Metcalf once in the chest, and ran. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. And now, as of last week, Karmelo.
And the thing is, he should have never grabbed that boy at all and tried to force him to move. Okay, that's where he messed up at. Like I said before, if once he asked him to leave and he said no, make me or whatever he said to him, that's when he should have went and got the coach. Why try to handle stuff yourself? And don't tell me y'all know how kids are. Okay, still go get the coach. They're there for a reason, for many different reasons. One, the coach, also to supervise, to make sure everything is cool. And just, if any problems arise, the kids should be able to go and get the coach to assist with the matter, not do it themselves. Point blank. Yeah, he grabbed Anthony. He really did. Now, in all fairness, the News Nation dude said he didn't see no physical altercation before or leading up to the thing. So, I mean, I don't know. This is weird. And this is a weird little case, another weird case. But since they do have the video footage, even though there's no sound, we should be able to tell who the aggressor was. And I don't, honestly, I don't think it's really, I mean, it does play a huge role in everything. But what we're trying to find out is if Anthony, he said he was, obviously he feared for his life, but did he use excessive force? That's what we're trying to see and determine. And once they examine those, I'm pretty sure they already examined the videos, but once, they put everything up out there, when they have the trial, we'll be able to look at that and see. And then the jury is actually going to be making a decision if it was, self-defense or not. They believe that Karmelo Anthony was scared for his life and he had a right to protect himself in whatever way he feels like, he can to prevent, those kids from, doing something to him that could be, life-threatening. So, again, I don't know why some people choose to see what they want to see. You have to look at stuff in fairness all the way around. That's why I wish they could have released the video, but I know it's probably got some information in that video that they know that probably is going to create, some drama. All right, especially if it shows that Austin and his brother both were going out to Karmelo, you know what I'm saying, or appear to be like both touching him, or one touched him and the other like he was about to join in, especially if it shows something like that. Now, if he used excessive force, I don't know. Again, they have to look at everything and see if what they did warranted him to use excessive force. But like I said, people are concentrating on the wrong things. Us trying to figure out why he brought had a KNIFE in his bag is going to be pretty much impossible. He has to tell us why he had that in his bag. But I don't think he was coming there to fight unless they actually knew each other. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what else we got here. How long we been on here? Okay. So anyway, like I said, this trial is coming up on the 1st of June. All right. And he's pleading not guilty. And he said that he used self-defense, period. So we're going to see how all of this will play out. and I will definitely keep y'all informed until we get to that court case. And when they do it, I will let you guys, I will be covering it. Let's put it like that. You said excessive force could lead to first-degree murder only if the jury believes the person intentionally unalived the victim. Yeah, I don't think he intentionally did anything. A lot of people want to paint that picture because they mad. And like I always say, even like when I'm watching Country Wayne skits and certain things be happening, and I tell people you cannot be choosing people because you simply don't like them or because you think they're this or that. You have to choose people based on if you think they did something or you think they did, if they are innocent or guilty. Same thing here. You can't just choose Austin because, you know, he's white, or you can't just choose Karmelo because he's black. You have to look at everything and, you know, choose right. Okay? Period. Yeah, I don't think he planned it out. I think it just happened. And the thing that people keep on forgetting is if those two boys would have just handled that a different type of way, this would not even be an issue right now. Just like if Karmelo would have just gotten up and walked over there to the coach and asked the coach, can he stay there? This could have been avoided. Now, you see how I just did that? I didn't place all the blame on the two twins, and I didn't place it all on Karmelo. What I said is they should have went to the coach, whether it was the Austin and his brother or Karmelo. He could also walk over there. That's why you have to do the right things, because sometimes when you don't do the right things, it leads to somewhere you don't want to be. Point blank. And yeah, he did ask the police about, or the security guard or whoever it was, a resource officer. He did ask him about Austin because he did not think he unalived him. That shows right then and there that he did not intentionally do it. He didn't plan it. He wouldn't be asking anything. And then he didn't run like everybody tried to act like he was running away, like trying to get away, trying to escape. He ran away from over there because he probably figured they were trying to jump him. And plus, you know, when people do stuff, they get scared, and some people start running. But when the police or the resource officer came, he came right to him. That's why I say y'all need to stop with all these lies and stuff that y'all upset, you know. Yeah, I would be upset if it was my son who got unalived. Okay, but you know, again, like I said before, we have to teach our kids how to handle certain situations, handle things in a certain situation. If you know there is a teacher there, coach or whatever, you need to go to them if you have a problem with other students or non-students. You don't take that authority in your hand because anything can pop off. Just like Karmelo. And when they was telling him to move, he should have said, okay. And he could have just got up and moved, not moved, but got up and walked over there to the coach and asked them or him, can he sit up underneath the tent because it's raining? But he probably didn't want to do that because it was raining. But he should have went up there and asked, like I just said, just like Austin and his brother should have went to the coach and let the coach know that this kid is underneath the tent and he does not supposed to be here. Point blank. It's just that simple. And if they would have did that, then all of these kids would be going right to college right now, not, you know, dealing with hurt and all this other stuff. Especially, you know, the brother who lost his twin brother. And that's why we have to instill, you know, these things in our kids. You don't always have to do conflict to get people to do what you want them to do. Sometimes you have to go take it to a higher authority and let them do what they need to do. And you just stay out of it. Okay? So, yeah. So I will be keeping you guys abreast of everything, especially when this court case starts June the 1st. All righty? Y'all can leave y'all comments in the comment sections, what y'all think. And let me tell y'all straight up, don't get over here trying to tell me Okay, what I should think, because I'm not telling you guys what you should think. You can leave a comment, keep it respectful, otherwise you will be blocked. And that's just on everything. Okay. Now, let me give y'all an update on, and my prayers are extended out to the Metcalf family, you know what I'm saying, and my condolences as well. And my prayers are extended out to Carmelo's family as well. And I'll just say this, let the truth come all the way out, all right? Let the truth come all the way out, because all these people on YouTube, social media, and all these other places guessing, they don't know exactly what happened, just like I don't. All I'm doing is listen to what the news people are saying and what News Nation when they watch the video footage. Period. And just what we think. We weren't there. We don't see any videos. So it's not fair for you to say this kid unalived the other one intentionally, or the two boys did this and that, because we don't really know. All we can do is guess. We can say what we believe, but we can't put it out there like we know that this happened this way, because we mad that this other little boy got unalive. We can't do that. You have to always look at stuff from more than one side, right? And you have to speak the truth and support truth, period. So again, you know, my prayers are extended out to all of them, because they're definitely going to need it. And my condolences extended out to the Metcalf family. And my prayers for all of them, including Carmelo's family, and for him. And let justice prevail 100%. True justice. All right? All right. So now, let's go ahead and move on, because we've been on here for an hour, 18 minutes. I'm making up for yesterday. Last night, I didn't get a chance to do a night hour live. So this would be like, you know, one for now and one for yesterday. Yesterday, I was going to talk about Nancy Guthrie. I was going to give you guys some an update on her, and I'll give it to you right quick on here, okay? Let me go ahead and change phones real quick. The girl getting tired. You said some clowns that want Karmelo locked up are the same, you know what, who support their, you know what, press. And you're right. See, a lot of people are just plain racist, okay? They're just racist, everything. And they just hate to see a black person, you know, unaliving a white person, okay? And they just automatically say, oh, Austin didn't do anything. This black kid just went out and just, you know, stabbed him intentionally. And that's why he bought the knife, because he was looking for trouble. Well, you guys don't even know, because you weren't there. You're not him. You don't know. So what in the heck are you talking about? You don't know. You don't know why he had that knife. You probably had it just for protection anyway. Period. We don't know until the trial and more information comes out. All right, so let's go ahead and cover Nancy Guthrie. Let me stop sharing this real quick. Mouth is dry. Hold on. Let me change this banner real quick. See? Okay. Just like with this case right here, a lot of people be talking reckless, right? For real. Because they be like, why are they still talking about this lady, so many missing people? The thing is that they talk about a lot of missing people. And some people, unfortunately, just get more coverage, okay? That's just the way of life in our world. No, it's not right, but that's just what it is, okay? And the thing is, if it doesn't matter who becomes missing, their loved ones, their friends, anybody who knows them or knew them, they want them to be talked about. They want people to look for them, okay? Because they're trying to find their loved ones. So, I mean, I don't care about them talking about Nancy Guthrie like they're doing the coverage or anything, because shit, her kids want their mom found, point blank. And it's really a damn shame that someone would do anything to an 80-some-year-old woman. It's just plainly ridiculous.
I was on the fence about firing my agency.
Hold on, let me do this. Okay, now let's go ahead and get to her updated information real quick. Okay, let me take it off of this phone right here. It's already saved, so I'm gonna have to go look for this, thank God. Tomorrow on my what is it called? News flash reaction that I do in the daytime. I'm gonna be talking about this pastor, you guys, who demands his congregation to bring in their tax returns so he can look at them to stop people from playing in his face. That's some crazy stuff right there. All right. So anyway, this updated information. They said Nancy's bedroom video. This is one update right here. May have helped the kidnapper. Y'all remember the other day I was talking about, Nancy, and I was saying that maybe the kidnapper saw certain areas of her house, on social media or whenever she got on the computer or TV or whatever the case is. Anyway, that's what they are saying. Let's see here. Hold on, let's see here. So look, they said this happened on Sirius XM's The Megyn Kelly Show. So on that show in 2013, that segment, Nancy McGuthrie joined the morning news show via satellite to talk the host through her daily bed making routine, okay? Which is you wouldn't think that would be, bad to do, but if you have like a daughter or a son that's on TV, maybe doing the news or whatever they're doing, certain things you may not just want to show. Like even being on YouTube, being a content creator, certain things you just don't want to show, especially if you got stalkers. So anyway, they said, so what's interesting about the clip is that you can see where Nancy slept every night. Remember when I said that this kidnapper, in my opinion, is very well aware of Nancy, because how would he know exactly where she was asleep at? And maybe even what time she goes to bed. And that also that no one would be at that house. Anyway, Kelly said per parade, and you can see exactly what this abductor must have walked into. I mean, does anybody's mother dramatically overhaul their bedroom when they are in their 80s or 70s? I mean, that was what, 13 years ago? And that's good that she was able to do that. I hate that this person, kidnapped her and just messed up the rest of her life. I really do. Now, she continued. The point is simple. You can see right into her bedroom and generally the way it was and the way it was set up. And she lives in the same house. Hold on, y'all. And that's just not a good thing. Because again, if someone is trying to do something to you and you're showing them exactly where your room is, where you sleep at, and all of that, shit, you're giving them information, You're giving them information. And it doesn't, you know what? And something else is weird too, how you can go online and look at a person's house and see where all the rooms are. They need to cut that out. They need to stop giving people all this access to personal information like that. In the UK, At least a while ago you couldn't do it. I don't know about now. Some years ago in the UK you can do that. But here in America, you can go online and look up whatever you want to just about. You can see what a person's house look like on the inside. And then if they doing showing you the inside of their house, you can pinpoint where they be at and stuff. So, you know, that's crazy. So let me see what else we got going on here. Somebody said, I think it's still the sister and brother-in-law or someone contacted with where Savannah works. I'm not going to tell y'all who I think it is, but, you know, later on I will, okay? Somebody said, still my question in this whole story is, who would want this 84-year-old woman? It is all very fishy, and it seems like they are spinning their wheels and never getting anywhere. Somebody said, does anyone think this is strange? Kelly thinks this clip from 2013, I think she needs to be investigated. She was having a hard time talking. Yep, definitely. God, something good and something that you can really use. Let me stop. Her daughter is the one that televised her mom when she was at her home, showing her how to make her bed properly or whatever. I still think this is an inside job. I can say that, okay? I think it's either someone who been to her house like a contractor or something, or something even more sinister. I really do. I really truly do. There's no way a perfect stranger would know certain things. I don't give a damn how much he looks online and look at pictures and look at TV shows and all this other stuff. Certain things that person wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Okay, let's see this right here. What else they got? Let me take this one off here real quick so I won't repeat it. It was another it was talking about the dude's tattoos, okay? And I don't even have to read this because I already read it already. And they were saying that the tattoos, they think that he has tattoos on, okay? Tattoos. And they said those tattoos look like they were just black ink, okay? And so that means that he could have possibly gotten those tattoos done in prison, because in prison, they don't have color ink, they just got the black one. And sometimes people get tattoos in prison, and it's put them on another in another class or something like that. So they're thinking that this person was also incarcerated before. All right, so that's kind of chilling. Incarcerated before, right? Because if he was, what was he incarcerated for? And how long was he there? And how is he connected to Nancy Guthrie? How did he? I mean, you can see Savannah on TV, but why would he automatically go to her? There are many people on TV. Why go to her? And no one has asked this question right here. Why go to her? Because there are a lot of newscasters and people on TV doing news and doing other things, actors. He could have chosen any other celeb or any other news person or anybody. Why did he choose Nancy Guthrie? You said it's an easy target. There are a lot of easy targets out here. She's not the only person living alone that's old. No, I think there's more to that. Okay, I really do. And I still believe either it's someone that's been to that house before, like a contractor or something like that. Somebody did some work there, or something a little bit more sinister, like I said before. Now let's see what else we got. I think I already told you all about this. I did. So I think that's all of the updated information that I have regarding Nancy Guthrie. I think that's it. Let me make sure. Let's make sure real quick. Let's see. Let's double check. I didn't even turn my music back on. It's so quiet. Oh, there it is right there, y'all. Let's see. 40 days. She's looking for 40 days. So we already talked about the damaged utility box, all of that. So yeah, I think I covered everything. 40 days gone. Missing. Yeah. So anyway, again, my condolences, not condolences, but my prayers are extended out to her family. All right. And for her. And by some miracle, I do hope that she still is alive. I don't know. Because being gone over a month is just really looking bleak. You know what I'm saying? But you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And I just don't understand why they don't have any, like, they claim they got some clues, but I don't know about that. And they also said this man is a professional. He could be a professional. Oh, one more information. I knew it was something else I forgot to tell you guys. Okay. They think that when they kidnapped, I keep on saying they, but it's probably more than one person. When the person kidnapped her, they believe that they picked her up out of the bed, wrapped her up in the blanket or something, and carried her out of the house. Y'all remember we were talking about that the other night, and we were saying that May was saying too. He was saying that, and I was too. We were like, did she go to the door and open the door? She couldn't have, because they said that her pacemaker was basically, you know, her data on the pacemaker indicated that she was still or whatever, you know, relaxed. It didn't show that she was getting up, you know, hyped up, walking around scared and all that stuff. And that's why they probably pulled it out of the thing too. So when they go, you know, I wonder when did they pull it out? Did they pull it out before they actually grabbed her? Or because if they would have pulled it out while they approached her, that data would indicate some kind of stress or something she's going through. That would have been on, you know, in the data. And then they would have known for some other things. So I'm thinking maybe this person disconnected the pacemaker before they even grabbed her. They could have been in that room watching her sleep for a second, unplugged the thing, and then grabbed her right then and there. Because if they would have grabbed her with the pacemaker still connected to the phone, that it would have indicated that she was going through some type of trauma or stress. And I tell you what, they should automatically, you know, honestly, I wonder why she didn't have on an alert bracelet. Because if she would have had on an alert bracelet, that could have automatically contacted the police if something would have went down. And they should make pacemakers where it can automatically, I don't necessarily be too complicated, send a signal to the police or something. I don't know. Maybe they will do that in the future. Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is this right here, Janae. They had to disconnect the app before they grabbed her. Because if they wouldn't have disconnected the app before they grabbed her, then the data would have indicated that she was in some type of stressful situation, because your heart rhythm is going to show that. So I think that they disconnected the app before they actually grabbed her, before they even woke her up. Okay, because you can do that and she would know that she was asleep. And then I believe she might have woken up then after that, and they grabbed her. Either they grabbed her and woke her up. Yeah, because they would have had some data there that indicates, some type of trauma, stress, and they would have been able to tell exactly what time, they grabbed her. So I'm thinking they, disconnected the pacemaker before they even grabbed her. That's why they said the pacemaker showed that she was obviously sleeping, because your heart rhythm is different when you're asleep than when you are awake, if you're going through a stressful situation and all of that. Electrical currents. And that's another thing too. This is one thing that I had said before. I said, how would this person know about her pacemaker? How? So I still believe it's someone that knows her somewhat, whether it's a contractor or something even more sinister. And why did they take her? For what reason? Because even when they was trying to get the Bitcoin stuff, right? If that was from them anyway, why didn't they just give Savannah proof that her mom was alive, so she could just go ahead and give them the money, the Bitcoin or whatever, and then they turn Nancy back into her daughter? Because maybe Nancy could have passed on that same night, if that was actually the kidnapper making that ransom demand. Who's to say that was even the kidnappers? It could have been just weirdos trying to get some money. Did they confirm that it was the kidnappers for real, or what? Let's see. That's a damn shame. Anyway, those are the updates, okay? Everything that I just gave you guys, okay? I told you about, they think that she was carried out, okay? Wrapped up in a blanket. That's the update. I told you the other update. I forgot what it is already, but I gave you like 3 updates. And then, we just basically went over some information regarding her. And again, I'm always say until they find out. I believe that it was someone who's been there, whether he is a contractor or whatever. I believe he knows her, okay? Or it's something more sinister, if you guys can read between the lines, because that's just plain crazy. I'm trying to figure out, why did she have a bracelet on to notify the police? Okay, that's the first thing. So she's 84 and she has heart problems and I think hypertension and all this other, stuff like that. So why did she have an alert bracelet? And also, why weren't those cameras? Why did they have paid subscriptions? Because you can hide cameras in the house so nobody can find it, but you know where they're at. And those cameras could have helped the police. And we do know she really was at home because of her pacemaker signal that she was asleep. But What if she was asleep somewhere else? But it couldn't be, because then they found blood on the patio, I believe. And they did say that blood came from her. Or did they? So there's a lot of unanswered questions, okay? What about tire marks on the ground? Did they see that? Were there any tire marks there? Even up the street or something like that? Did he have help? They believe that he could have possibly had a helper. And again, who is that dude was walking outside trying to get over that gate with the backpack on? And then he had his little face covered up too. Who is that dude? What about the tampered utility box or cable box or whatever? What's up with that? And also the weirdo who was walking around that the other neighbors saw. And what about the lady screaming outside of the car? Who was that? Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, definitely it has to be close to the device. The app has to be close to the device, right? So she probably had the daggone phone right there on the nightstand. So like I said, it's a lot of unanswered questions, and hopefully they be able to find this lady. And by some miracle, I just hope she's still alive. Again, my prayers are extended out for Nancy and for her family. And hopefully they will, find her so her family can bring closure to all of this. And again, by some miracle, hopefully her mom is still alive. I don't know. It's 40 days. That's a long time, especially if you don't have your medications or anything. All right. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about her case and who do you guys think is responsible for this. All right. Okay, I'm going to give y'all 2 breaking news and then we're going to get out of here, okay? 2 breaking news stories. If I can ever find the damn thing first, let's see. Okay. So first thing first. Let's see what I want to talk about. Real quick, tell y'all about. Okay, let's see here. Check this out. A young mother passed on from sepsis after being prescribed the wrong antibiotics. That's some crazy stuff right there, you guys. Dang. Hold on, y'all. Now, this right here happened over there in UK, okay? As I see NHS, okay? Anyway, they said this was contributed by NHS neglect after she was given the wrong antibiotics, a coroner has ruled. Let's see. This lady was only 33 years old, a bank cashier from Croydon, South London. She passed on 2 weeks after undergoing a routine procedure to remove an abscess from her left armpit. They said she sought medical help many times because her condition got worse, and they gave her some antibiotics. But they gave her the wrong ones. They did not give her ones that could tackle the bacteria causing her infection. Okay, she had a little child too. So the staff at St. Epson and St. Helier University hospitals also did not follow the NHS Trust own guidelines on administering antibiotics. And that's according to Assistant Coroner Sion Reeves. Her little son is 8 years old. That's sad. So they said, anyway, let's see here. They said this lady suffered from a condition called hydradentitis. Wait a minute, hold on. Hydradentitis. I don't know how you pronounce this. Suprarovativa, which causes abscesses on the skin. And I know I just butchered that other word. It's Suppurativa. I guess it's sub or suprativia, something like that, okay? They said she had undergone a routine day procedure at St. Thomas Hospital on August the 5th, 2023 to remove abscesses from her left armpit and groin. At some point after the 10th of August, she became sick and the wound to her left armpit became infected. So then she went to an out of hours GP appointment on the 13th of August, and that's where they gave her a course of penicillin-based antibiotic. Then on the same day, she went to the A&E at Cornell University Hospital, where doctors said she got a wound infection and discharged her home with a plan to continue the antibiotics. On the evening of the 14th of August, she went to the A&E department at St. Helier Hospital. She had a wound infection to her left armpit and was administered a dose of let's see how you pronounce this, fluoxetine, which is an antibiotic, and they gave it to her in an IV. And then she was sent home with a plan to return the next day. So she went to the hospital, back to the hospital the next morning, and was seen by a junior doctor and senior house officer, and then a specialist. So they did say antibiotics were prescribed, but we're not in line with St. Helier's Hospital's antimicrobial guidelines. She added that the drugs did not provide effective coverage against a gram-positive organism, which was the most likely pathogen causing the infection. Prior to selecting the combination of antibiotics, the surgical team did not consult with the hospital's microbiology team for advice. On August the 16th, another DRUG was given, which was in line with the hospital guidelines, but she deteriorated and was admitted to intensive care on August the 17th. By that time, she was in septic shock, with multiple organ failure. And then she had some signs of infection in her lungs. Despite a maximal antibiotic regimen, intubation, I think that's how you say it, ventilation, and intensive medical support, Mrs. Rochester continued to deteriorate. She suffered a cardiac arrest in the early hours of the morning on the 19th of August, and she could not be resuscitated. And then on the 15th, the coroner said Miss Rochester should have been, but was not prescribed the right antibiotics. And if she had, she most likely would have survived. That's sad. Anyway, her mother launched legal actions against the trust. That's sad. The wrong antibiotics into this girl's life. Yeah, that's why you got to really double check these damn doctors and make sure that they are giving you the right stuff. That's why I always be asking questions. Are you sure that will unalive, the bacteria that you're giving me the antibiotic for? Because you just never know, man. Just like when you go get your medication from the pharmacist, you should be looking at your pills and make sure it's the right ones. Because one time they gave me somebody else's medication. They sure did at the pharmacist. At the pharmacy, I mean. And I, had to go back over there and give it back to them. So yeah, that's a sad shame. That's a shame right there. Hey. Somebody said there's no protection or safety, no protection of safety net for Black women in America or around the world. There's more and more cases of Black women not getting the right care treatment from these organizations. The thing about it though, Black women, you got to find out about your body and know about your body and know about different medications. When they prescribe you stuff, get on your phone and look it up and see. And when you take tests and stuff, you need to ask them. They'll tell you what bacteria it is. Just like when you catch a UTI. When they send your urine out for analysis, I can't say it right today, y'all, because I'm tripping tonight. But when they send your urine out to get it analyzed, okay, they're checking to see what bacteria it is when they send it out, okay, so they can be able to prescribe the antibiotic that unalives that bacteria. If they do not give you the right antibiotic, then it won't unalive that bacteria, and that infection can spread. So that's why it's very important when you have a UTI or any other type of things like that, like a boil or anything like that that can be infected with some type of bacteria. You have to ask them what type of bacteria is it, because it usually takes a couple of days for those tests to come back. So then you ask them, what type of bacteria is it? And what medication are you prescribing? And then you go on your phone, you look up that medication and type into Google, will this medication unalive this bacteria? And if it says no, then you tell your doctor what you found and tell them to give you a different antibiotic. You have to do what you suggest. Okay, it's like with my doctor. I remember they had a recall on one of my blood pressure medications. He didn't know, but I knew. I told him, and he looked it up and saw it. And he changed my blood pressure medication. Okay, so you have to stay on top of your stuff because we already know that the system as a whole sometimes treat Black women differently. So it's up to you to find out about your body, to know about the medications they're giving you, to make sure that it's working for what you need it to work for. Watch for side effects, all of that stuff. When you go take tests to see if you got a UTI or any type of infection, or you're dealing with cysts and boils and things of that nature where they can get infected, you have to make sure that the medication they're giving you will, solve whatever situation you're going through. Because it's not hard to switch doctors, you know what I'm saying? And since they do be doing the most for Black women at some places, you got to stay on top of your stuff so you can make sure you get the best care that you can get. Anyway, that's a sad situation for this lady. My condolences are still, expressed out to her family. Because even though this happened back in 2023, I believe. I think they said 2023 or somewhere around that time. Let's see. It's still, a sad situation. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. And I'm pretty sure her mom is still feeling that in her son. So my condolences are expressed out for her family, to her son, and her friends and all. In my prayers as well. And may she continue to rest in peace. Sad situation. All right, one more story and that's it. We've been on here 2 hours. I did good. I made up for yesterday and tonight. Let's see this. So they do, this is a little health warning I want to give you guys. It's about a common pain killer linked to kidney damage, okay? Let's see which one it is. I bet you it's that damn Panadol. Let's see. Let's see which one is it. I was close. Let's see here. So it's an anti-inflammatory medication, such as ibuprofen, let's see if they got the other one up here. Naproxen. Oh my God, I cannot pronounce this one. Let's see. I guess it's diclofenac. It's spelled D-I, it may be diclofenac. It's DICLOFENAC. All right. Any non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They said this can elevate blood pressure and damage blood vessels within the kidneys. They said you should be especially careful when taking these things. They said that medications have the power to harm as well as to heal. He said, although the anti-inflammatory drugs, such as ibuprofen, are effective and safe medicines, patients should be aware of their impact, especially if a patient is at increased risk of developing kidney disease, and consider alternative medications when necessary. So maybe acetylene is not good either, but I don't know what you could take for pain or anti-inflammatory. But maybe if you don't overdo the medications, like some people be taking way more than what they tell you to take, right? Or like when sometimes when they give you like ibuprofen, they'll tell you you can take it once a day or twice a day if needed. So if you take one once a day, if you can bear with certain pain, and maybe do a massage or a heating pad or rest or something like that, you probably should do that. Because I do that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I won't be taking all those amphetamine, like Tylenol or anything like that. I'm not going to be taking that stuff 1,000 times because it can cause liver damage, okay? That is tripped out. So people with high blood pressure, okay, diabetes, people with a family history of kidney disease, and those from Black and South Asian communities should be very careful when they taking anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, naproxen, and stuff like that. All right, point blank. That's why I don't never take naproxen. When the doctors gave me that for my arm, I didn't take that mess. No, I sure didn't. I just basically did just what I just told you guys. I did take a Tylenol, but I basically massage the area, put a heating pad on it and stuff like that. I'm not going to be taking all those pain things. So yeah, so that's just a little information for you right there, you guys, okay? And that is it for this live tonight. Excuse any bloopers. I told y'all before, when my nose is completely stopped up like this, it's hard to even talk because I be feeling like I'm drowning from the inside. I'm not joking. It is crazy. It's hard as heck to do these lives, especially when it's 2 hours. So excuse any bloopers. Plus, my mouth is dry as heck as well. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Hey, Tony Bands, what's going on? Thanks to Jermaine, Tony Bands. Thanks to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay. Y'all don't forget the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share, leave a comment. And if you want to show additional support for the show, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, cash app donation at $Shades2 or copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. We had a good time tonight. We talked about a lot of stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow later on tonight for Fucking Friday. All right? If you watch Country Wayne reaction skits, I'll be doing one tomorrow morning. So make sure y'all check that out or either check out the replay. All right? And check out my latest Dollar Tree haul too that I did yesterday and my latest YouTube short. Have a good night, y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next live. And thanks to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay. I don't even know if I said that before because I'm getting tired. So let's get out of here. Let me do this, y'all. Let me take these comments down and everything. Good night, Jermaine and Tony Bands. Good night, y'all. And everybody. And change this back, y'all. Y'all know how I do this. I got to change everything back. And I be just searching and searching and searching. I don't know what I did with the daggone thing up here. Here it is. And let's change this too. All right. Good night, Tony. You at work, huh? Have a good night at work. Okay, let me mute the music now. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank ya. Let's mute this music, y'all. All right, y'all. Good night. Sweet dreams. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, if God willing. Night, night.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades2, baby. She back again. Woo! Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section. She call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shades2, press replay. You thought I let game, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shades2, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shades2, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shades2, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube,